Suntan lotion is good for me.
He was born into privilege.
Oh, really, fool? Really?
And stood to inherit a fortune. But for 27-year-old Billy Madison, there's just one problem.
How could I hand over my company to someone who couldn't even get through school?
That's nice.
Billy is not an idiot.
Give me one more chance. I'll prove I can take over. First grade through 12th grade, all over again. And then I get to take over Madison hotels.
You're on.
I want you all to meet Billy.
You want some more of that? I didn't think so.
Don't you think it's a little pathetic that just because of who your father is, you get to come to school all over again?
Yes, I do.
I heard he's retarded or something.
Good morning, class. So let's all open up our Reading is Fun books to page 69.
69.
Where's Billy? He's in school, man.
So what's it like being back in school?
I don't know. I kind of feel like an idiot sometimes. Although I am an idiot, so it kind of works out.
Universal Pictures presents
Norman Invasion of England.
1066.
That is correct.
Adam Sandler,
I am the smartest man alive.
Spanish Armada.
1466. 67.
Billy Madison,
1469. 1514. 1981.
God, give me the answer.
Welcome to the latest episode of the B Movie Club. I'm your host, Kevin. This week we'll be discussing the 1995 comedy classic Billy Madison, starring Adam Sandler, Bridget Wilson, Darren McGavin, Norm Macdonald, Steve Buscemi, Chris Farley. It's an all-star cast. For those of you joining us for the first time, each week on the B Movie Club, I discuss certain guilty pleasures and forgotten classics of the past. Go and go to our page on Facebook, Original B Movie Club, and give us the big thumbs up. Also go to our page on YouTube at KD9575 and subscribe. It's totally free. And don't forget to follow me on Twitter at the B Movie Club. So there you have it. Good times. Make sure you spread the word. The more the merrier, okay? You know what I'm saying? There's always more room on the bandwagon for shizzle. Billy Madison. In this movie, Billy is a 20-something child of a super wealthy hotel magnate who's never accomplished anything, has never done anything in his life. He dropped out of, he graduated from high school but then never went to college. He basically stays at home all day drinking margaritas with his two loser buddies. But they're getting to the point where his father is about to retire from the company. And he wants his son to succeed him. Sadly, he's decided, you know what, my son is such a big loser, there's nothing I can do. I'm going to turn it over to my Weasley vice president, Eric. Billy stands up at the last minute and says, hey, you know what, I can do it. I accomplished everything before I graduated from high school. To which the father drops the boom on him. Hey, I've bribed all your teachers to get good grades for you, going so far back into elementary school as well. You've never accomplished anything. I'm going to give the company to Eric. So Billy, in a flash of inspiration, comes up with this plan. Look, Dad, I will go back and spend 2 weeks in every grade and pass them all. And if I'm able to do that by the time that you're going to retire, then I'll get the company. And the father agrees to do this. But evil Weasley Eric is like, oh no, I'm going to do whatever I can to sabotage this. So Billy shows up to first grade. He's learning vital, important lessons along the way. Good things happen. He begins a romance with the third grade teacher, which is a little inappropriate if you ask me. You can't do that. As he approaches high school, and starting to get into the whole high school, because now subjects are getting more difficult, as you might imagine. he's starting to realize that now he's getting picked on for being kind of out of touch with his REO Speedwagon t-shirt, pulling up in his denim jacket and in his Trans Am. People are picking on him. He thinks back upon the times when he was in high school, one of the cool kids, picking on those less fortunate. Goes back and calls one of his old victims from back in the day and apologizes. So he's growing, he's learning. Eric tries to sabotage him, blackmails his elementary school principal to saying that Billy bribed him and he didn't really accomplish anything even now in elementary school. I don't want to spoil everything. I don't want to give everything away. There's a lot of layers to this. As we all know, Adam Sandler was on Saturday Night Live and he was unceremoniously kicked off the show. Very sad. Lorne Michaels, who's the producer of the show, just felt like it was time to move on from the Adam Sandlers and the Chris Farleys of the world. So he fired him, and he went and he got the screenplay together for Billy Madison, and he was able to produce it, get it made. And it basically showcases a lot of the things that Adam Sandler fans love about him and a lot of detractors hate about him. He's playing that weird little character who has weird voices and does weird things. That's basically what he is for half the movie, 90% of the movie, 90% of his career. It's hard to say. So he's playing this character. I remember seeing this movie in the theater when it came out back in '95. And I almost walked out. I'm like, this is awful. This is horrible. Shockingly enough, I tend to prefer comedy that's a little bit more clever rather than just, here's Bobo the idiot monkey boy, let's all laugh at him. I don't appreciate that. And this was definitely that kind of movie. Critics who didn't like this movie basically said that you watched this movie and you wanted to punch him in the face, is basically what it came down to. You wanted him to get his comeuppance for being this weird, bizarro, losery character well into his 20s. You didn't want him to succeed, evidently, was kind of their knock on it. You know, other people, even Siskel and Ebert, were like, you know what, this guy is doomed for failure. Talking about Adam Sandler now. Like, he'll never be a leading man. He's too, weird looking. He doesn't have enough charisma. He'll basically be the comic relief. He'll always be the buddy. He'll never be the star. Little did they know, hey! You do see Norm Macdonald playing a small role as one of Billy's idiot buddies. Chris Farley is actually uncredited in this as the creepy bus driver. Steve Buscemi plays the boy who used to get picked on by Billy Madison, that Billy goes back and apologizes to. It's really kind of crazy. If you go and watch Adam Sandler movies, Steve Buscemi is basically in all of them. He pops up every now and again with his crazy tooth and eye looking at you. So he's all over the place. Bridget Wilson, who plays the love interest, third grade teacher Veronica, she went on to marry Pete Sampras, tennis great. She popped up in a few movies here and there. You might remember her. She was in very briefly in I Know What You Did Last Summer. Hey, she's also in the movie adaptation of Mortal Kombat. See? Okay. Hey, they can't all be Gandhi. Okay? They can't all be Schindler's List. Okay? Sometimes you just got to pay the rent. Okay? So good times. Darren McGavin plays Billy Madison's father. You might remember Darren McGavin from The Christmas Story, and if you go way back, he was in Kolchak, The Night Stalker from the 70s, that horror anthology show. Good times. They originally approached Charles Bronson to play the father, and he passed. He said, no thanks, no can do. Shockingly enough, this movie is listed as like the favorite movie of all time of Robert De Niro. Crazy. Crazy. This movie currently has a 46% rotten on Rotten Tomatoes. Like I said, I was not a big fan of this movie. It's kind of endearing watching it now years later. Oh, another thing. Bradley Whitford plays Eric. You might remember Bradley Whitford. He was in West Wing, playing this kind of dramatic roles. Up to this point, he was always kind of the jerky frat boy guy. He was in Revenge of the Nerds Part 2, Nerds in Paradise. And then a few years later, he was with Billy Madison, playing the same kind of Weasley douche character that we all appreciate now, before he went on to do like one very serious, I do serious things. Good times. Didn't really appreciate Billy Madison, in my opinion. Didn't dig it. A lot of people loved it. So much so that I almost didn't go see Happy Gilmore. Happy Gilmore is one of my favorite movies. I love Happy Gilmore. So there's the highs and there's the lows. So check it out. Let me know what you think. What's your opinion on Billy Madison? It's all right. It's not as horrible as I once thought, but it is a lot of the kind of childish goofball stuff that kind of made him famous. So there you have it. Next week, I'll be moving away from the mindless comedy genre into a serious horror classic, The Exorcist, based upon the book, okay, starring Linda Blair, Max von Sydow. It's an all-star cast. I mean, there are people. This is a big thing, okay? So check it out. It is streaming instantly on Netflix. Let me know what you think. Have any favorite scenes, favorite quotes, comments, questions? Pass them on. I might just talk about it on the show. Don't forget to send me any movie suggestions you might have, okay? I get those suggestions. I put them in my queue, and they're ready to go, okay? Thank you. As you know, I end every episode with a totally out of context quote, and here it is. Mr. Madison, what you just said is one of the most insanely idiotic things I've ever heard. At no point in your rambling, incoherent response was there anything close to anything that could be considered a coherent thought. Everyone in this room is now dumber for having listened to it. I award you no points, and may God have mercy on your soul. So there it is. Good times had by all. Next week, The Exorcist. Don't forget to go to our page on Facebook, Original B Movie Club. Give us the thumbs up. Go to our page on YouTube and subscribe. It's totally free. And don't forget to follow me on Twitter at the B Movie Club. Thank you for joining us, and be well.